Hi, my name is Clarissa Rodriguez. I am a bilingual speech-language pathologist with the Department of Communication Disorders. I'm here today with Sandy Bermea, who was a participant in the 2003 First Generation College Students video. Hi, Sandy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm very excited to be here.
Very good. I'm excited to share with you a clip of the original video from 2003. Let's take a look.
Hello, my name is Sandy Gonzalez, and I'm a first-generation graduate student at Texas State University. Research reveals that first-generation college students often face unique challenges. Some of these challenges include conflicting obligations, false expectations, and lack of preparation or support.
Sandy, I'm sure a lot has changed since that video. Let's start by talking about your time here at Texas State and what you majored in.
Okay, I was here for 4 years. I was a student worker here on campus at this department, Instructional Technologies, and I majored in mass communication broadcasting, and I loved my experience. I was able to do some radio and some TV news for the university, so it was an amazing time, and I truly enjoyed being here.
Okay, and what do you remember about the first generation video in 2003?
It was very exciting. Everything was very new. Dr. Nahera had just started the organization and was, trying to get more people involved and more awareness for first generation students, which I think is a great thing because it would have helped me earlier, and I'm sure it's helped tons of students now. But it was very exciting to be part of it, and I actually got to watch the interviews going on. So it was very neat.
So what did you do right after Texas State and graduating?
I actually worked on campus doing Blackboard. I was a Blackboard user services consultant.
Okay.
I stayed here for a couple of years, and then I moved on to become a teacher, and have been teaching ever since. So I'm now starting my 7th year as a teacher.
Very good.
And really have enjoyed, I think everything that I've learned here has helped me transition into education.
Okay, so you left San Marcos. Did you go back to your hometown?
I did. I went back to my hometown. My husband is a coach, so we moved closer to home. That was a stipulation. I could be home by my mom.
Okay.
And after that, started teaching, and then we are actually both teaching at the same campus now.
Okay.
So everything's worked out for us both.
Very good. So you mentioned your mother. How does your family receive your graduation from Texas State as a first generation college student?
They were all very excited. All my family came, my brothers, my mom, other aunts and uncles, other relatives, friends. It was very exciting. It's an exciting time, especially for my mom. She was only able to go to the 4th grade because she had to work. And so for her, it's just an amazing experience. And I get a little choked up every time I talk about it, but it's an amazing experience for her to have me follow through with something like that.
Sure. And while you were here at college, what were her emotions? What were her feelings about you being here?
Every time we talked on the phone, she would tear up, but she was so proud of me for being here and for actually being able to stick with it and charter my way through it.
Sure. Well, I commend you for having that accomplishment. So ultimately, you felt supported by your family, by your friends?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
They did a very good job. I mean, even if it was just a phone call to give me some emotional support, it was always there.
Okay. Along the way, what challenges did you face?
I believe one of my biggest challenges was figuring out how to pay for college, since my parents didn't have the means to do that. It was always tough, and that's why I had to work and make sure that my grades were actually very good, because I knew that I was having to pay for it and figure my way out through that. But in the end, I think it showed me a lot of responsibility, and I persevered through it. So that definitely helped me.
Very good. So being a student and a student worker or having a job was a lot of responsibility, but ultimately worked out.
Yes.
So with that experience that you had on campus, how did that fulfill maybe the real life, outside of school, job hunting process?
Well, I think it definitely helped me in a sense that I learned responsibility, but I was also able to go ahead and start making a good transition into communication skills with other people, and being able to work with other people, and having a certain amount of responsibility placed on me and making sure that it was taken care of. And so it's an easier transition to go out into the real world and go into an interview when you've already worked in a professional setting.
Sure, sure. So do you apply those skills in your job now?
Absolutely, I do. I think working here, I was working with students and professors. So in education, working with second graders, I still work with students and I still work with other educators. So it's very, very similar.
Okay. Can you tell us about what happened along the way after you majored in mass communication and then ended up in education?
Well, actually, I was the Blackboard User Services Consultant here. So I actually got to work with a lot of professors, especially in the education department.
Okay.
And working with them, they enticed me to, I was already a little curious about it. They enticed me to look into it. My husband was already in education, and I just became more and more interested and became more involved. So when we actually moved back home, I worked as an aide for the district just to see if that was something that I really wanted to pursue.
Sure.
And working that a semester as an aide really pushed me to want to transition into education, especially with the elementary age students.
It's great to hear that here on campus you had support and your husband was also supportive. Once you got onto the elementary campus as an aide, who were some of the key people that helped guide you?
The principal at the campus was very supportive, and actually I started as a junior high aide.
Okay.
And the student population wasn't the fit for me, but I still enjoyed working with the students. Mm-hmm. I was able, with the help of the principal, to transition into elementary and was able to get my teaching certification. And having my 4-year degree helped me easily transition. I was able to do an alternative certification teacher education program, mm-hmm. which I took some courses and was able to test within that next summer. I was certified. And transitioned to elementary, and then from there on, my principal at my elementary campus really helped me develop, I think, to the teacher that I am today. So the principals make a very huge difference for me, or have made for me along the way.
Very good. So tell me again how many years you've been teaching now?
This is my 7th year teaching, and very excited, possibly thinking about doing my principalship.
Very good.
But haven't made that decision for sure yet, but really enjoy working with the kids. My day goes by fast. It's very fulfilling. They always have something funny to say, and they're very candid and honest.
I bet. So in essence, your classroom now has become your environment, and now that you're close to home, I hope that you've fulfilled maybe what you were looking for.
Yes, I'm very, very content and very pleased, and I always feel like I'm able to challenge myself in education.
So if you could bridge maybe your status as a first-generation college student with the students that you teach in your classroom, what things maybe can you share with them so that they are guided and supported and feel empowered to do and accomplish what you accomplished?
We talk about what they want to do as an adult, and I tell everybody that everybody has a chance to pursue their dream, whether it is in education or in the armed forces, but that there's absolutely endless possibilities for everybody to try. So we always talk about what they want to do when they grow up and how they can get to that point. Mm-hmm. And I always stress that you have to go on, and if you want to be a teacher or a lawyer or a doctor, you're going to have to go and do really well, up and through high school, and then you're going to move on to university. And they always ask, well, what does that mean? What do you do there? And
sure.
And so it's interesting to see little kids so interested about that.
So would you identify yourself as a role model to them?
I would hope so. I try to carry myself as a role model and try to do things that will hopefully inspire them.
Okay. And other than the advice of the track that they would take, would you share any obstacles, challenges that came along the way?
Typically I don't, because I don't want to discourage them, but I do, if parents have questions, I'm always willing to answer their questions about college. And I have actually been a bilingual teacher, so I have a lot of Spanish-speaking parents, and they have concerns about what the next step is to do even after elementary. So I always try to give advice if needed, or if they, elicit it from me, I try to help them in that way and tell them that they can always come back if they have any questions later down the road.
Sure. I think that's an important piece, that not only are you sharing with your students, the young children, but their parents are also empowered with some of your experiences and guidance. Are there any other individuals that you feel look up to you and see you as a role model outside of your job?
I think that my nieces do. I think they've realized how hard you have to work to pursue your dream, but that in the end you can get that success and be happy in your life. So I think that hopefully they look up to me. They seem to. They ask me a lot of questions. I have a niece going to university this year at Texas. She's going to be a Longhorn, University of Texas.
Okay.
So she's headed there, and she's had a lot of questions. How do I get a job on campus? Where do I go? What do I do? How should I set my schedule? So hopefully I've been able to help her.
I applaud you for having that role, because I think it's very necessary for other individuals who may also be looking to be a first-generation college student and college graduate, as are you. Other than maybe taking some extra courses to become a principal, what are your other goals? Maybe in the next 10 years, what do you see for your life and for your career?
Actually, I do want to continue in education, but I'd also, because I was a broadcast major, mass communication broadcast major, I'd actually like to move into that portion of my life. Okay. I'm not sure how or when I'm going to do it, but I am still interested in that, so that's something that I see myself doing, hopefully. Maybe Good Morning America.
I say go for it. You've accomplished a lot already. What would you say to other people that are getting started with a professional career, maybe already here on campus or at a university setting, maybe choosing what major and ultimately seeing themselves in a career?
I think my biggest advice to them would be to get your feet wet. Go go volunteer at a school, go volunteer, or go get an internship, whether you want to be in a law office or some in the medical field. Go get that internship, go get your feet wet so that you can see, can I do this? Do I want to do this? Is this something that's meant for me and my personality? Because you might find that it might be the complete opposite. I didn't ever want to be a teacher. Absolutely did not want to be a teacher, but now it's my favorite thing. So I just truly advise, get your feet wet.
Okay, I think that's great advice. What would you say maybe to people who hesitate to support higher education and maybe first-generation college students?
I would say just give it a try. I know for my family it was an obstacle financially. Not that my parents didn't want me to come to school, we just didn't know how it was going to happen for me to finish school. So even though other people were saying, well, it'll be fine, just have her get a job here locally at the bank or, at one of the local stores, she'll be fine. My parents were still trying to figure out a way to get me here and being able to finish my 4-year degree. So I would just say, just don't be afraid. There's always a will and a way. And if you come to campus, there's always somebody that can help you.
You mentioned in the original video some of the organizations or departments that helped along the way. Were there any others now that stand out to you that help guide either financially or for minority or Hispanic students?
Well, definitely, of course, the Counseling Center. And actually working here, one of the secretaries here helped me along the way. She was my boss as I was her student worker. She absolutely helped me. So knowing somebody, even if you're on campus as a student worker or if you have a family member that knows somebody, that always helps. She helped me tremendously. I had no clue. I was the first one here, so
right.
I was kind of thrown in, and I really didn't know a lot, but having her help me say, you need to go to this office, try this. So even if it's not an adult, even if it's somebody that's in your dorm that has experience, parents know what to do, you can always ask for somebody's advice.
Sure. Do you continue to maintain contact with some of these influential people?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay. Who are those people?
Mary Alice Garcia is actually one of the people who helped me the most here on campus. She's a secretary here. I just saw her spend about 10 minutes. I could probably spend 3 hours with her easily. Okay. And actually there's several people in this office that were here when I was here, and so I know I keep, it's like I was never gone. Right. I could probably still pick up a phone and answer it.
Right.
And send them to the right place. But, I think it's really neat to use that experience now in my professional life.
Sure. Luckily, all that has carried over into your career and in your personal life. I have one final question. What would be a message that you would send to a first-generation college student?
I would say just follow your dreams, and whether somebody thinks you can do it or not, you can. It's going to be hard. There's going to be lots of obstacles. You're going to wonder, why am I doing this? How did I get myself into it? But the end result is always worth it.
Well, thank you so much for your time and your inspiring words. I applaud you for all of your accomplishments, and I think it's great to, 8 years later from the First Generation College Student video, to see and hear about all your accomplishments.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandy.